They have to go through a hardship each and every single solitary day, and they still come out on top. All a part of the plan. These are all tests, right? And every time you give in to your comfort, every time you give in to that inner bitch voice in your head, right? You're losing the battle, right? Oh, that person in the penthouse had to put an endless amount of work on his 5 to 9. He's from the same place, you know, same skin color, same height, same everything, right? He just didn't bitch up and make excuses. What's up, fellas? It's your boy Robin and Teddy's here again with another video. And today, guys, I'm gonna go over the 3 mental hacks that you need to use to completely transform your life and level up as a man. So the reason why biohacking your mind is so important is simply because before anything can manifest into the physical realm, right, reality, the things that me and you can both see, it has to manifest here, right? Your mindset is literally the pilot of all of your decisions. It's the main determining factor of how you are as a man and how you live your life. So, for example, if your mind is constantly flooded with vices, right? Pornography, alcohol, weed, distractions, women, what do you think your day-to-day actions as a man are gonna be, right? Where do you think you're gonna end up as a man if you can't even do simple tasks on a daily basis, right? You can't do the simple needle movers that you need to do throughout the day. Where do you think you're gonna end up as a man? So that takes me to my first point. Change your environment. Guys, your environment can be the main thing that's either holding you back or pushing you closer to your goal. And a lot of you guys are in what we call a crab in a bucket environment, right? Guys, let's take this analogy for a second. Imagine you're in a bucket full of 50 crabs, right? And you're that one crab that, you know, has a bigger goal in life, right? You're that one crab that wants to make it to freedom, right? And you know, you're at the bottom right now, right? But you're climbing your way to the top, right? You're climbing your way. You made it past the first layer, you made it past the second, third, and now you're at the 4th layer, right? You can see the sky, you can smell the freedom, but for some reason, right? As soon as you get close to making it out of that bucket, of the rest of the crabs, they get jealous and they want to pull you back down to rot with the rest of them, right? And that's exactly the type of environment a lot of you guys are in, right? Guys, when I was working 2 jobs, right? I was working 3 at this time, right? I was working at Publix, AutoZone, and I was doing Shipt, right? If you guys don't know what Shipt is, like a DoorDash type of app, right? Pretty much you get groceries for people, right? Anyways, so while I was working at Publix, right? A lot of people, their mindsets at that job, they couldn't really see anything past Publix, right? A lot of those guys were just, you know, they had the crab in the bucket mentality, right? If you try to move up or you try to talk about your goals and aspirations to them, they're gonna laugh. They would laugh in my face and they would tell me, no, kid, you know, just stick to school and everything like that. Or, you know, you could just, you know, you could rot with the rest of us. You could stay here for the rest of your life. You know, it's good benefits, good, you know, you get a good salary and everything like that. But that's it, right? Guys, I didn't want to do that. I know I had more potential, right? I had a bigger plan, right? I saw a bigger plan for myself. So I wasn't going to stay there, right? Same thing at AutoZone. AutoZone, there's dudes in there that have been there for 15 years, right? Guys, why would you want to live a miserable life like that, right? And you probably don't, but you're just stuck in that crab in a bucket environment, right? And the thing is, guys, you have to get out of that environment as soon as possible, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, that environment has a direct influence on your mindset and what you think is possible. I remember when I was a regular trainer at Crunch Fitness, my highest paying clients, their salaries were only probably 120, you know, 120,000 a year. 100,000 a year. And you know, to a lot of you guys, that sounds good, but you have to realize when I made that switch and I started training in Miami, right, privately, these people are making upwards of $500,000 a year, right? So a lot of the things that I thought was possible when I was back home training at Crunch, right? A lot of those things seem so minuscule, seem so small to me when I made that switch and started training in Miami, guys, right? Because I'm listening to these conversations that my clients are having on the phone, right? They're doing business as I'm training them, right? they're talking to me about businesses that they're doing, and businesses that they run, because I'm asking them questions like, how did you amass all this wealth, right? How are you driving a Rolls Royce? How are you living in this penthouse, right? I'm asking them these questions and they're giving me feedback, right? They're giving me the answers, right? So again, guys, a lot of the things that I thought wasn't possible back then, I know for a fact now is exceedingly possible, right? So again, I literally changed my mindset by just changing my environment. So one more tip I can give you guys about changing your environment, guys, if you live within an hour or two of a major city, go to that major city every other weekend, right? Look around, talk to people, ask questions, because guys, one good interaction could literally change your life. It could change the whole trajectory of your life, right? But even if you don't get that good interaction, guys, you just physically seeing these buildings, you physically seeing these cars, you physically seeing all these hot chicks, right? It's gonna do something to you mentally, right? It's gonna make you grind. It's gonna make you strive for more. And if it doesn't, then there's some more personal development that you have to do within yourself. But for me, guys, I knew from the moment I seen all of those Ferraris and Lambos in Miami, all those hot chicks, all those penthouses, training inside of those penthouses, because I told you guys I trained privately, right? So I'm going to these people's houses and training them in these penthouses. I trained a dude once. This man had a fucking elevator in his house. No lie, bro. He had an elevator in his house and he was looking out on the ocean, right? He had an ocean view. Guys, I can't make this up, right? So from that moment, I knew I couldn't settle for less. I knew I had to retire my parents. I knew I had to strive for more, right? I knew I had to drive a Lambo. And all these things are going to happen simply because of this. Number 2, hero versus villain. All right, guys, hero versus villain. Now, this is an important one, right? But before I get into this one, I have to say this, guys. A lot of us, especially in today's day and age with all this social media, right? A lot of us go and compare ourselves to a lot of the people on social media, right? And sometimes that's not always good. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why that's not always good is because you don't know the mechanism or the way that person acquired their wealth, right? Their physique, or, just the lifestyle that they have. And that's the reason why it's not always good to compare, because guys, a lot of these people could very well have inherited that money. A lot of these guys very well may be on TRT and juice and other anabolics, right? So you can't necessarily compare yourself to them, right? Because when you do that, you tell yourself, wow, okay, I'm here, right? I'm making I'm making 5K a month and this kid is ripping 100K months consistently. Or this dude has only been lifting for 2 years and he's fucking, 8% body fat, 200 pounds. And, he's just fucking jacked, bro. He's ripped as hell, right? And I'm just, I'm still skinny and I've been lifting for 5 years. You can't always do that because, guys, you don't know how these people acquired that lifestyle, right? Guys, and even if they did do it that way, right? Even if they did get a boost or a cheat code, use cheat codes and everything like that, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what does that do for you, right? When you start comparing yourself, that's when the negative self-talk and the doubt starts to creep in. And then you start telling yourself like, dang, all these guys are using these cheat codes. I can never amount to the things that they're doing, right? And then you just quit. We quit. We stop all of this progress that we done made, right? We stop striving for more. We stop striving for greatness. We just fall off our path. We fall off our journey. And then that's it. So the reason why I brought up hero versus villain is to simply compare yourself to you. Look at any superhero, right? They must have a villain, right? There can't be good without the bad. And the thing is, guys, the reason why superheroes are so respected is not because they save the day, right? It's simply because they have to battle all of these villains, right? They have to go through a hardship each and every single solitary day, and they still come out on top, right? Guys, there wouldn't be a Batman without a Joker. There wouldn't be a Superman without Lex Luthor, right? So every time you don't want to go to the gym, every time you don't want to work on your 5 to 9, right? Every time you don't want to go to work, every time you don't want to follow your meal plan, right? You have to remember, guys, this is all a part of the plan. These are all tests, right? And every time you give in to your comfort, every time you give in to that inner bitch voice in your head, right? You're losing the battle, right? You're losing to that villain. So now let's relate this back to real life. The reason why a jacked physique is so respected, not because muscles look cool or anything like that, it's because every time you pass by somebody, they know you put in endless hours of pain, right? The reason why the rich dude with the Lambo is so respected, not because the Lambo looks fancy and cool, is because they know that that person had to go through some hard times to acquire that vehicle, right? They know that person in the penthouse had to put an endless amount of work on his 5 to 9, right? So he could free up himself and to live the lifestyle that he wants to live, right? So again, guys, these are the reasons why all these things, materialistic things in this world are so respected. So let's go back to the comparison now. Remember, guys, you're the superhero and there has to be a villain, right? So this villain is going to be the exact copy of you. He's going to be the same age. He's going to be the same height as you. He's going to be the same race as you. And he's going to be from the same place as you, right? So this guy is extremely cold, right? This dude is elite on all aspects of life, right? This man doesn't bitch up when it's time to do his daily deliverables, right? His daily non-negotiable task, right? He always hits the gym. He always follows his meal plan. He always is working towards his 5 to 9 after work, right? This guy is just hitting on all cylinders, right? This guy doesn't make any excuses. This guy has the bad chick that you want. This guy is living in the penthouse that you want, right? This guy is literally living the life that you want, right? And again, he makes zero excuses. Just looking at this guy, you may think, damn, this guy is so out of reach. You know, this is unattainable. You can never reach the same status as him. But then you have to remember, guys, this guy is you, right? This guy is exactly you, right? He's the same exact copy of you. The only difference is he doesn't make excuses, right? He's from the same place, you know, same skin color, same height, same everything, right? He just didn't bitch up and make excuses. He didn't feel sorry for himself, right? He put in the work. He put in the work needed to get there, right? So every time you don't feel like doing your non-negotiables, right? You don't feel like doing your deliverables. You don't feel like doing your daily tasks, right? Think of the villain, right? I want you guys to embody this. I want you guys to personify this scenario, right? Remember, guys, this guy is exactly you. This is the life that you could be living if you didn't make excuses. This is the life that you could be living if you actually prioritize your daily tasks, right? Made them non-negotiable. I keep saying daily tasks because that's all it is. It's all habits, right? If you keep working towards the same thing, you're guaranteed to get it at some point. At some point, bro, at some point, you will get to that desired outcome, right? If you keep putting the work in and you keep delivering day in and day out, you are guaranteed to get that desired outcome. Very few times in history has a man put in his daily work, right? Each and every single day without fail, right? And no excuses. Very few times has a man failed and not actually gotten to his desired outcome and his desired goal. Very few times, right? Very, very few times, guys. I'm telling you, if you put in the hours on your grind, put in the hours on your 5 to 9, right? Whatever you're doing, you will get to your desired outcome. It's just that when we make excuses and feel sorry for ourselves, those are the things that hold us back, right? That's exactly why we can't get to our goals. It's simply because we're putting up this mental block telling ourselves that, hey, you know, I feel tired, right? I can't go to the gym, right? Oh, I didn't buy groceries, so I can't make my meal prep, right? Oh, work stressed me out, so I can't work on my 5 to 9, right? I can't work on my side hustle, right? All of these things that we tell ourselves is the exact reason why you guys never get to your goals, right? Those are the things that are holding us back, brother. And my last point, fuck it, button. I already know what you guys might be saying. Sounds funny. What is a fuck it button? And I'm going to tell you guys. So 2 years ago, I was training a D1 football player, right? And he played for Eastern Kentucky. Now, you know, it's still D1, but it's not like a Alabama or, you know, U Miami or anything like that, right? But it's still D1, right? We were talking one day before a session, and pretty much, guys, he was explaining the difference between JUCO, right, junior college football, and Division I, right? So you got to realize, like, JUCO is like any average Joe can play JUCO, right? you could literally sign up for JUCO tomorrow and be on the team, right? Any average Joe could play JUCO. But Division 1, you're playing against guys that are bound to go to the league, right? You're playing in the most elite division in all of America, right? So one of the biggest things that he took from playing Division 1 football was the fact that his coaches would enforce this fuck it button, right? And again, guys, I know it sounds funny, but bear with me. So pretty much, guys, a fuck it button is like a tolerance button, right? Guys, the guys on the team that were just ass, they fucked around, they didn't, they were, they're fucking around in the drills, they just couldn't get anything right. Those guys have a very small fuck it button, right? It takes a lot for them to get the things right? It takes a lot for them to do the drills right. It takes a lot for them to, play at their best, at their full potential, right? It takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort to press that button, right? Because it's small. The guys who excel, the guys who are phenomenal, the guys who put in the work each and every practice, the guys who are doing crazy numbers in the game, those guys have a huge fuck it button, right? It doesn't take much to press that button, right? Because the button is huge. It doesn't take that much effort to press that button and signal in their head like, oh shit, it's game time, right? I gotta perform, right? So I started to adopt that same mentality as well, right? Guys, my fuck it button is constantly improving each and every single day. Every single day is getting bigger and bigger, right? It's simply because I do my daily tasks, right? I don't miss a day. Guys, I started doing 100 burpees in the morning at 5 a.m. First thing in the morning, I'm doing 100 burpees, right? It's not because I need to get more fit, right? Guys, I'm lean, right? I'm in elite shape, right? I am the standard for an elite physique. So me doing burpees it's not for the physical, right? It's for the mental. Guys, who in the world wants to wake up at 5 a.m. and do 100 burpees, right? Nobody. But that's why I'm doing it, because I'm crazy. I have a higher standard for myself, right? If I want to reach these goals, I have to go through the hard things in life. I have to go through the trials and tribulations, right? Because remember, at the end of the day, I'm the superhero, right? I can't let the villain win. So I have to do my non-negotiables every morning, right? So yeah, man, you have to adopt this fuck it button system, right? And a lot of you guys, if you guys are watching this video and you just can't seem to retain any of the information, you can't seem to do your daily tasks each and every single day, your button is this small, right? You have to build it up. You guys have to build up this button to a point where it doesn't take much for you to do your daily tasks. It doesn't take much for you to show up to work on time, right? It doesn't take much for you to fucking go to the gym and bust your ass in the gym, right? It doesn't take that much. It takes one small little click, one small little press of that button. That's it, right? That's it. And you're doing your tasks. That's it. Another thing that I like that is synonymous to the fuck it button, which is a real thing, is called an anterior mid-cingulate cortex. Now I know you're probably like, Ty, what the fuck are you saying, right? Bear with me, hear me out. So the AMC, right, anterior mid-cingulate cortex, this thing is a real thing inside of your brain, right? It's a region in your brain that literally grows each and every single time that you do something that's hard, right? You do something that you don't want to do, right? Whether it's public speaking, right? Whether it's working out, whether it's working on your 5 to 9, right? Whatever it is, whatever you deem as hard, whatever you put on the back burner each and every single day, that you doing that task will literally grow your AMC, right? Every time your AMC gets bigger, it gets easier for you to do these tasks. Now, here's the catch though. Every time you don't do the tasks you're supposed to do, every time you give into that inner bitch voice in your head, right? Every time you do that, your AMC gets smaller. It can actually shrink, right? So this is why athletes have one of the biggest AMCs, because they're constantly putting themselves through a tremendous amount of pain each and every single day, right? So again, guys, you doing these hard things isn't for no reason. These things are set in place to build you up as a man, right? These things are set in place to make you great. You stacking up these small daily wins will contribute to you being more disciplined as a man, right? That is one of the greatest things you can have as a man, is just discipline, guys. And whenever you give into that inner bitch, bro, you're setting yourself back, right? You're setting yourself back miles. So again, this is why I have all of this set up in my head. I mentally downloaded all of these things. I mentally downloaded all of these hacks, right? To a point where I can't be broken. No matter what happens, right? God forbid some crazy happens, I cannot be broken. It's easy to make excuses, guys. It's easy to give into our vices. It's easy to give into our comfort, right? But when you choose to do the hard things rather than, live in comfort, that's when you grow. That's when you grow as a man, both mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, whatever, right? In your relationship as well. It's when you choose to do the hard things, right? It's when you choose to take the hard route. It's when you choose to take the route that's uncomfortable for most people, right? That's what separates you as a man. When you give into your vices and, your comfort, guys, you're telling yourself you want to be average. You're literally shocking your brain. You're telling your brain that, oh yeah, we can be average today. We can be average. We don't want to be elite. We want to be just like everybody else. We want to scroll TikTok. We want to watch the NFL. We want to watch, Love Island and all this other bullshit. We just want to be regular. We want to be average. We're cool with being average, right? We're cool. That's cool. If you want to live an average life, that's cool. I can tell you right now, this page isn't for you, right? This channel is not for you if you want to be average. You can click off, bro. Dead ass. You can click off. This is not for you. This is for the men who want to be elite. This is for the men who see a bigger plan. This is for the men who know that their dreams are actually attainable, right? So again, guys, if you're not on board with, becoming elite, if you're not on board with striving to be that 1% man, right, this channel isn't for you. Yeah, guys, if you ever feel like you don't have a circle of friends or a group of like-minded individuals who have the same mentality as you, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm always doing my daily deliverables each and every single day. Every morning at 5 a.m., I'm doing my 100 burpees each and every single day, right? I'm making my breakfast. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing my daily deliverables. I'm doing the things that take me steps closer to my goal. But all right, guys, that was the end of the video. And again, these are the 3 hacks that you can use to completely transform your life and make your goals 10 times easier to accomplish. I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I'm out, guys. Until next time.